Boys are cool. Kids are all right. But the number one investment that you can make in your life is always going to be in yourself. Always betting on yourself, always doing everything that you can to make yourself better, to grow, no matter where you are, no matter where you've been, no matter where you think you're going. Courses can always change. Life is inevitable. Chaos happens. It comes into our life. It's just part of it, because at the end of the day, this too shall pass. Welcome back to That's Gonna Cost Ya. And today, I want to start with boys. Now, normally, I will wait until like mid to like towards the end to talk about men. I think it's truly just coming with age. Okay, that's a lie. I'm already lying. I feel like I've never been like boy crazy for real. Like I put on this like facade, like, oh, is there going to be some fine shit there? Like, where's the daddies at? Blah, blah, blah. But I really don't think I'm that concerned, because if I was, I might have a man. And one of the main reasons why I feel kind of compelled to talk about men is because I feel like I've had a really large influx of temptation over the last few years. And I think it's coming from me continuing to elevate. I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but I have noticed that I've had a really large mixture of different men kind of come my way, whether it be high quality, low quality, younger, older, whatever the case may be. And because I am now 27 years old, a lot of people are starting to settle down. They're dating. They're literally intentionally dating. They're going on dates. And I am not. And I'm kind of just like staying to myself. And I'm not giving anyone too much energy or attention to a certain extent. You know, I have my slip-ups here and there. It's not that I don't want to. It's just I'm having a hard time. It's probably the number one thing. I'm the worst at men. I would definitely say that's like my number one downfall. Because, and is there anyone else that can agree? I think when you prioritize your career or your financial situation, or I put everything above a relationship with a man. I like men. I love men. I enjoy entertaining some fine shit. I really do. However, I don't value the idea of a relationship. I don't value commitment to a man. I don't value that partnership. And maybe it's because I haven't put myself out there enough to allow myself to value it. I haven't done enough work on it. And there was somebody that I was talking to literally over a year ago. God, Izzy, this is literally, you remember how fucking pressed, I literally in a podcast, please never show me this clip. I said, if this isn't my husband, like, I'm going to be really surprised. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. I'm going to have to go back and delete that shit. So bad. I fuck with him though. Like, we're still friends. And I love that I can do that. I don't know what it is. Everyone thinks it's so weird that I'm friends with both of my exes. Like, I'm actually really good friends with both of them. And even with dudes that I used to talk to, if we don't talk anymore, it's because of them, not me necessarily. Like, they decided to distance themselves, whatever. But I've always kind of left that door open for communication, not to talk again, not to fuck again, but more of like, hey, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. If you ever want to like just catch up, I'm here. Because I always like to start majority of the time with a friendship or just like a really good connection. And I think I had both of those with my recent exes. And the one guy that I spoke to, not the one that I'm about to talk about, but the one that I've talked about on this podcast a million fucking times, that I was talking to, and he helped bring up the idea of like, he made me kind of believe in the idea of marriage and settling down. And he showed me that I could connect with someone more than just like my exes. But he wasn't who he said he was. And we didn't start as friends or on a friendly type of thing. And I don't even really think there was a connection when I think back to it. I think it was like fresh. It was different. It was after I'd quit dancing. I wasn't around men on a daily basis anymore. I wasn't, in that life. So he love bombed the fuck out of me. And I basically fell for it. And I thought that this was somebody that I could see myself with. But at the end of the day, I think you give things time, people will always reveal who they are. Not that he's a bad guy or anything. I still don't really know who he is. But then I had met somebody maybe like 8 months after, just through mutual friends, that I ended up really liking, and we had a great connection. And this is actually somebody that we were more friendly than anything. Like, yes, we fucked around. Yes, we talked every single day. We had very deep conversations. We had a great connection. I would say we were compatible. However, we both never took it to that level of like, I like you, let's pursue this. I like you too, let's pursue this. It never got to that point because we both made it clear, like, we're not going to do that. And then it ended up blowing up, so to speak, just a little bit. And then it kind of like just slid off. And he also lied. And that kind of showed me like, hey, this isn't your man. Like, if he was for you, he wouldn't have felt the need to lie, especially when you guys have such a good friendship and relationship. I understand why he did it, because he knew I did like him. And I also know he liked me. But the fact that you lied, it's very, very difficult to trust somebody who lies to you. Would you agree? I'm sure I would. And although I'd like to believe I know what I want and I know what my top deal breakers are, and even though I say that I'm really not good with relationships, I know that at the end of the day, if I have what I want in my deal breakers, that's already half the battle. But here's the two most important things that I've realized when I actually am evaluating someone, and that I've also seen how I can't get past certain things, and here's why. The two most important things somebody can have is loyalty and honesty. If you're loyal and you're all about me and us, like, I don't ever have to question that. And then on top of that, if you're honest, it doesn't matter what it's about. If it's about your past, your family, your work, me, you, whatever it is, if you're honest, great. Honesty and loyalty are going to be the two most important things. Everything else, for the most part, unless it's like a really big deal breaker, we can work with that. Those are things that we can improve upon. As long as you're willing to improve upon the things that you need to, there should be no problem. No problem. But the reality is, most people can't get past the first two. Like, and let's be honest, we all fib or lie here and there, like sins of omission, things like that, right? Or like kind of kick things under the rug. Oh, they didn't ask about it, so I don't need to say anything. Like, one thing I've realized, and I say on this camera, like, I'm not good with men. And I'd like to believe that when I really like someone, I'm very emotional. I'm very stuck in my head. But when I think about all the times I was ever stuck in my head, like really contemplating things, really just like doubting what we're doing, is because I couldn't trust them. So with my most recent ex that I'm still best friends with, we broke up 5 years ago. After he had done some shit while he was drunk in front of me, he didn't cheat, but he almost did. I think if I wasn't there, he would have. Or if I wouldn't have like stopped him, he would have. And that's just my belief. He probably would say different, but I believe that if I wasn't right there in front of him or had went over and stopped his ass because he was so fucking drunk, that he would have for sure cheated. And then the guy that I was talking to, that I say I really don't know who he was already talking to other bitches. And I knew that from the jump. And like, I never caught him again. So it's like, just because I didn't catch you doesn't mean you're not doing it. And it's like, just breaking that one aspect of trust, just that one time, even if it's early on, I can't trust you. Like, I can't. And for whatever reason, it might need to be like, I might need to work on it. I can't fuck with you. Like, I can't bring myself to celebrate you, to love you, to care for you, to support you, to be there for you, to be with you, if I can't trust you. And that's just something I've realized about myself. And it also goes for friendships. If you do me dirty, if you fuck me over, like, I can't trust you. One of the great things that I've also learned to do, though, is even if I can't trust you, I can still be friends with you. Like, I can love you from a distance, because just because somebody isn't a good partner to you doesn't mean they can't be a good friend. Doesn't mean that they can't be somebody that you confide in that sense. Some people are way different as friends than they are as someone in a relationship. And that's why I think I have so many guy friends. I just have so many people that I associate with, and that I can also still be friends with my exes, because of the simple fact that we're just better off in that friendly manner. Because I think once I actually start liking someone, the expectations go up. the standards, like, they're going to be present, and most people can't handle it at the end of the day. I do think I'm a little strict. I'm also pretty lenient. I am pretty lenient, and that might be my problem. In addition, I always have to be reminded by my best girlfriends, my girls, that, and see, all these guys hate girls that are like, well, what are you going to do for me? I want a provider. I want someone that's going to take care of me. I want someone that's going to like pay for my meals, my hair, my shit, gift me. Like, not that all my friends are like that, but I have friends that have those high standards. Like, you're going to send me home in an Uber. Like, you're going to send a car to my house. Like, these are the girls, like, most dudes would be like, fuck no, I'd never do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, these bitches are independent. They just want someone to take care of them, blah, blah, blah. But those are the girls that are always reminding me of my worth, because I think that because I'm so independent, I don't expect anything from a man materialistically or like financially. And because of that, I end up fucking with men that are way below me. And I hate saying that. I had a guy tell me, he's like, you think you're bigger than the program. I don't think I'm bigger than the program. I think I'm bigger than you, or I'm better than where you're at right now. And it doesn't even have to be in like a social status type of thing. It's more of like, if you came with some energy and some intention and you actually knew what you wanted and you were pursuing me and you made that clear and you were putting in new steps and new effort on a consistent basis, then I don't think I'm bigger than the program. But pretty quickly, if you're just fucking off, like, and it doesn't even have to be serious. Like, I'm telling you guys, it doesn't have to be serious, but I notice things like if you say you're going to call me back and you don't, like, you clearly don't do what you say you're going to do. Just don't fucking say that you're going to call me back. Just say, I'll talk to you later. Like, don't tell me you're going to call me back in 20 minutes and then never call me back. Like, it's just a waste of my fucking time. You're just showing me that you ain't shit. At least not for me. So, you know, me, I'm very understanding. Like, I'm very chill. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's talk now. Like, it's fine. It's chill. But you expect me to take you serious? You don't actually expect me to take you serious, do you? Because you're not doing what you say you're going to do. And this isn't just one person. It's like multiple people, right? Like over the course of however long I've been talking or dating or whatever to anyone. But those are some of the most important things I'm looking at. And I also had a really good friend tell me, he's like, Rachel, you can tell how desirable a man is by the amount of women that want to fuck him. I'm like, is that true though? And I'm like, is it just about like looks at that point? He's like, no. I'm talking about like high quality women that have class, women that have their own things going on, women that would make good wives, good mothers, good partners. The amount of women like that want to fuck you is going to showcase how desirable of a man you are. And if there's not a lot of women lining up at their door or showing them attention or at least trying to gain their interest, well, then what type of man is that? Like, what type of individuals is he attracting? And that is like something that really, really stuck with me because it's so true. And like I said, I constantly have to have my friends remind me that I'm a boss ass bitch and I have standards. Because I do it in my real life. Like in my real life, in my work, I'm not afraid to ask for what I want in my life and anything. But with a man, I don't know what it is, dude. I think I'm just too nonchalant. I'm too go with the flow. I'm too, it's new, it's fresh, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just having fun. But then when you just have fun, what do you end up doing? You end up catching feelings. You end up potentially really liking someone, getting involved, letting your emotions take over. And then you end up with somebody that is way like not on your level, that doesn't even deserve you. So that's just something that I've been learning. I feel like, you know, some ladies can definitely relate. And if you're saying you can't, well, then you're lying to yourself because majority of people out here are in relationships that they shouldn't be in at the end of the day. Like, what did I say on the last podcast? 56% of marriages end in divorce. Over half. So if you think you got your shit together, think again. Because I know I'm not alone here. Moving on. Talked about boys. I don't know. I think I just wanted to get that off my chest. And I have so many stories about dudes. I hate putting other people's business out there. I guess I could just make it about me. I think that although, you know, I'm a single woman, I'm independent, I come home and I'm like with my dog, you know, that's my companion. But at the end of the day, like when a man actually comes around, you know, when like you're like, oh, a man would be nice. And then they come around, you're like, ugh, like this is horrible. So we'll see. You know, I'm turning 28 in like a month and a half. So maybe things will change at that year. I don't know. I don't even know if I want things to change. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm just going through like a 20-something crisis. You know, just like I'm just being a girl at the end of the day. Like I have my own shit and my own problems. But let's talk about a book. Because the last two I just read, one of them was The Way of the Superior Man, which I already talked about with you guys. And then the one before that, I don't think I brought it up here, but Love After Heartbreak. It's a really small book. It's funny because I originally bought it because I was buying it for a guy, not the one that I didn't really know, but the one after that I had a good connection with that I was like, oh, this is going to be my husband. Lies. But I bought it originally for him. I was like, let me buy it. I'm going to read it because it did seem a little corny. And I was like, let me make sure it's solid. It's corny as fuck. So I was like, I'm not going to send it. And on top of that, we weren't even fucking with each other anymore. So I was like, I'm just going to keep it. I finished it. I liked it though, because it did have some practical steps. One of them being the Who Hurt Me list. So he talks about writing a list of all the people. And it really is about like healing. And a lot of people say that they've done the work and they've healed. But he really is like, go deeper, really figure out like, because sometimes when you hear names or if you think of situations, it brings back all these memories. And it's like, if it's still bringing up all these memories, if it's triggering you, if it's getting you upset, have you truly healed? Have you truly found peace? Have you truly moved on? So he talks about the Who Hurt Me list. And he says, write all the names, even if you only think about it once and you're like, oh, I don't think they hurt me. If you even bring up their name, like put it on the list. So he's like, there's people that have a bunch of different names. Some of them, God. Their mom, their dad, their ex-boyfriend, their ex-girlfriend, their best friend from 3rd grade that stabbed him in the back, like whatever it might be, right? I feel like my list was somewhat small, but that's one thing that I gained out of it was the Who Hurt Me list. Really enjoyed that. And then he talks about writing letters to the people that hurt them. And depending on like how serious it was, like if you have a restraining order on the person, don't send the letter, obviously. But if it's like a family member and you feel, you know, like you guys are in contact and maybe you guys have a good relationship now, just letting them know, or at least sharing it with them. So at least they're aware of what's happened and how it's affected you. But I liked that as well. I didn't write any letters. So I'm just being honest here. But I did get value out of the book. And I ended up giving it to a good friend of mine, a gentleman. And he's getting a lot of value out of it. He's reading it every day. He's taking all the action steps. Me and him have amazing conversations. We actually just had dinner on Wednesday. And we always like take turns with dinner and stuff. And he does such a good job because this is one of my best guy friends. We met through a mutual friend. And he is someone who really values relationships, at least good ones. However, he still has his own things that he needs to work on. And he acknowledges that. And he's just such an amazing person. So I love it because I don't want to say he's practicing on me, but he does really like gentleman-like things. So when we went out to dinner, the last time we went out, it was for his birthday. So of course I treated him. And then recently we went to this like cafe/restaurant and he was there before me. He met me outside. We came in together. He got our food, like we ordered it. And then we went out to the patio to go sit and he walked me to the table and there's a bottle of champagne. I'm like, yo, but he's done that before. He's done that like 3 times. And I'm like, it's just such a pleasant and nice surprise to walk out. He already got there early. He already had the champagne ready. And it's not even on like a intimate level. Like it's nothing like that. It's all friendly, but it just is like so thoughtful. And I love that about him. And I love that he's getting the reactions that he's getting out of me because I can only imagine a girl that really, really likes him and seeing her reaction and just being like so caught off guard and just really grateful. So great guy. Me and him had a good conversation yesterday. We also talk about love and dating and things like that. I told him he would be a really good pastor. He has this way of communicating and articulating his words and then making kind of jokes out of traumatic situations and then somehow pulling it back and talking about the lessons. I'm like, dude, you'd be a fucking phenomenal pastor. Like literally. He reminds me of Judah Smith. If you guys know who Judah Smith is, he's like a big mega church pastor out of Seattle, but I think he has one in LA. Great pastor. And just, I mean, I'm not even super religious, but just listening to him makes my days better, I feel like. So I digress. But one thing that we had talked about, and kind of bringing it back to relationships, I guess you could say, because a lot of people get married, and then what do they do after they get married? They have kids. And I've been telling everybody since the beginning of like high school, I don't want kids. I'm not going to have kids. No kids, no kids. And bro, I'm reading this new book. Okay. So we talked about The Way of the Superior Man, Love After Heartbreak. Now I'm on my last book that I bought. I bought like a conglomerate of books at the beginning of the year, and I've read through all of them. This was the last one on the list. I'm not going to say I saved the best for last because, you know, you never know. But this one is a really, really good book. I'm literally on the last chapter. But he, in one of the, it's okay. Jordan B. Peterson. You guys probably know him. He's a little controversial. I think he has a podcast. Do you know who that is? Do you know what I'm talking about? So, I guess he's a clinical psychologist. He's also a professor. He's been a professor at like Harvard and a university in Toronto, I believe. And he still like teaches. He's still a professor. He writes books. He has a podcast, I believe, or he at least gets on other people's podcasts. And he still practices his clinical psychology. So he has clients, and he talks about some of his clients in the book. And it's 12 rules for life, beyond order, 12 more rules for life, because he has the first version, which I actually bought for a friend about a year ago because it was a bestseller and it looked good. I didn't read it, but I bought it for my friend, 12 Rules for Life. And then when I was getting my conglomerate of books at the beginning of this year, I saw that there was this one, Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. So I was like, okay, let me read this one because clearly the first one must have done well. So I started reading it, and it's really, really good. Just anyone that wants to read it, I wouldn't say it's a hard read. It's not as hard of a read as the 48 Laws of Power, but it is something where if you don't really pay attention, you can miss something important. So I had to reread some pages when I felt myself kind of like zoning out. But in one of the chapters, only one from what I've seen, it really heavily talks about relationships and like finding a partnership and things like that. And one of the most important things that I gained from it, and because all of you guys know, if you've listened to the podcast or if anybody knows me, I'm really big on like my business and my work and constantly growing and evolving and going all in and putting, you know, my effort and my time and my energy towards the things that I'm passionate about, that I care about. And he talks about like so many people get into relationships. They put in all this work at the beginning. They find their partner, they get married, and then they stop putting in the work. And it's like for you to think that you can just put in all this work, showcase all these abilities to someone, make them fall in love with you. You know, you guys build this great partnership. And then because you've gotten married and because life gets busy, you can no longer put in any effort. That is why majority of these relationships, 56% to be specific, are ending. And he talks so much about it, and I fucking love it. But one thing that he said that I felt like he was literally speaking to me, bro. Literally speaking to me. He talks about women not wanting to have kids and basically why we're fucking idiots. So I kind of want to just open it up real quick and just, I swear to God, bro, I've never done this in a book where I'm reading it and I'm like, I literally looked up, I said, oh my God. I said, he's talking to me. He's literally talking to me, bro. I swear to God, Remy, my dog, he was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on right now? Bro, let me fucking tell you. I gotta make sure I find the right page. Hold on. You meet people, usually young, unwise, but laden with the unearned cynicism that substitutes for wisdom and youth, and they say categorically, even pridefully, I do not want children. Plenty of 19-year-olds say that, and that is acceptable in some sense because they're 19. They have time, and what do they know at 19 anyway? And some 27-year-olds says that, me, but not so many, particularly if they are female and the least bit honest with themselves. And some 45-year-olds say the same thing in the past tense, and some of them perhaps are telling the truth, but most are celebrating closing the barn door after the cattle have bolted. No one will speak the truth about this. To know outright that we lie to young women in particular about what they are most likely to want in life is taboo in our culture, with its strange insistence that the primary satisfaction in the typical person's life is to be found in career, a rarity in itself, as most people have jobs, not careers. Like, this guy's a fucking savage. But it is an uncommon woman in my clinical and general professional experience, regardless of brilliance or talent, training, discipline, parental desire, youthful delusion, or cultural brainwashing who would not perform whatever sacrifice necessary to bring a child into the world by the time she is 29 or 35 or worse, 40. Jesus. Bruh. Here's a pathway to misery I would strongly recommend avoiding, aimed primarily at the women who read this book. Although wise boyfriends and husbands should take equal note. Decide that you want children when you are 29 or 30 and then be unable to have them. I would not recommend that. You will not recover. We are too fragile to play around with what life might offer us. Everyone thinks when they are young and do not know any better, well, pregnancy can be taken for granted. That is only true if you absolutely do not want and should not have a child. You have sex in the backseat of a car when you are 15. Then for sure, you will find yourself in trouble. But a successful pregnancy is not a foregone conclusion, not by any stretch of the imagination. You can push trying for children to the older end of the fertility range, and many people are encouraged to encourage themselves to do exactly that. But up to 30% of couples experience troubles becoming pregnant. You encounter something similar, that is, the caution about what life will and will not offer, when people whose marriages have stagnated begin to develop the delusion that a romantic affair will address their unmet needs. When I had clients considering such a move, or perhaps involved in an affair currently, I tried to bring them back down to earth. Let us think it through, all the way, not just for this week or this month. You are 50. You have this 24-year-old, and she is willing to break up your marriage. What is she thinking? Who must she be? What does she know? Well, I am really attracted to her. That's what they say. Yes, but she has a personality disorder. Seriously, because what the hell is she doing with you, and why is she willing to break up this marriage? Well, she does not care if I stay married. That's what they say. Oh, I see. So she does not want to have an actual relationship with someone with any degree of long-term permanency. Somehow that is going to work out well for you, is it? Just think about that. It is going to be a little rough on your wife. A lot of lies are going to go along with that. You have children. How are they going to respond when all this comes out, as it most certainly will? And do you think about the 10 years in court that you are now beckoning that is going to cost you $350,000 and put you in a custody battle that will occupy all of your time and attention? Like, bruh. Okay. Somehow we transition from me trying to talk about kids to now talking about affairs, which, what do I know? However, one thing, to bring it back to my friend that I was with on Wednesday, we were talking about kids, and the reason why it came up is because he works with kids. He is starting a nonprofit that has to do with kids. He loves kids. I say I don't like kids. However, I do. There's so many kids that I want to help that are not mine. And I think I could be of better service who actually and genuinely need the love and affection and assistance of a older figure that can actually help put him in the right positions, in the right rooms, on the right track, than me just starting my own family and living happily ever after. It's just not me. I think there's enough people out there that want a family, that want to have their own kids, that want to build that type of life, that can do that. And although people have told me like, oh, Rachel, you'd be a great mother. Like don't you want to have a little you? Personally, no, I don't. When I think about that, I really don't think I would. And I don't want, if I was to bring a kid into this world, yes, I know I could love them and care for them and give them a good life. But I just think that because of how much I want to do for other people that aren't my kids, that they may grow up and be like, damn, like my mom cared more about these kids than me, and I don't ever want to have that thought. So who knows, if I find a man and he wants to put a baby in me and shit, he looks good, and he's got me wrapped around his little finger, maybe. But as of right now, no. And I had that conversation with my friends in the car on our way. We went to a Lakers and Warriors game. And they were like, you know what, that makes sense. And I think when I articulate it like that, instead of just being like, oh, I don't want kids, like people understand where I'm coming from. But I don't ever get to the point of explaining myself, because why do I need to explain myself? But it's always a good conversation to have with people that I love and care about, which are my friends. And when I was with my friend on Wednesday, me and him were talking about it, and I kind of explained that to him. And he said, someone told me that those that don't have kids end up caring for more. It's because they end up caring for more kids later on, like other people's kids in a sense. And he said it so perfectly. I can't remember what he fucking said exactly. It sounded so good. I was like, who said that? That's so wise. Was that like from the Bible? He's like, no, my mom. I was like, oh. But it's funny because that's literally how I feel. I'm like, that just basically took away everything that I've ever said. Those that don't have kids or choose not to have kids, they find purpose in caring for other kids. And I don't think that I would regret it if I got older, because I don't really have like a huge desire to have, I don't have that like parental desire or motherly desire to have kids. But enough of the kids and the boys and the marriage. Let's talk about some fucking munyan. Or we could talk about a couple of my favorite pieces from this book and the idea of giving up. Ugh. Wow. Okay. How many of you are in... Oh, I feel like I'm talking to a crowd right now. How many of you are in a position right now where you're just ready to give the fuck up? Like, I'm talking about throwing the towel, fucking cut the show, can't do it anymore.
Pull the plug.
Pull the plug. Fucking end it. Risk it all. God, it's so good, bro. Oh my God, this book has so many gems. Whether you love them or hate them, this shit hits. And I think you can pull great things from anyone, even the most controversial of people. So this one talks about the idea of giving up, or I guess you could say the idea of finding what you really are meant to do. You know, a lot of people, they make you feel bad about wanting to do more than one thing. And I think that to a certain extent, if you find yourself hopping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, it starts to make you look like you just can't pick something and you don't know what you want and you're confused and what the fuck are you doing and la, la, la. But I think that one thing that I really struggled with was before I started dancing, I was in a sales company and it was going really, really well. However, it started to take a turn maybe like 1 or 2 years down the line, and everybody kind of started to drop off. Like all my sales volume went down. I was basically fucking broke. I had won like a car through the program, like they were paying my note. And because I wasn't producing like I used to, they were basically going to take the fucking car. And I really haven't talked about a lot of the struggles that I went through during that time and like all the different things I had to do to fucking pay my bills. And I don't mind talking about it. I don't think it's necessary right now. I'm trying to get to a point here. But what I would say is when I was going through that, I was so gung-ho on like hitting my goal. Like I have to make 6 figures. I have to be in this position, in this role at this age. Like I was setting all these fucking high ass goals, but my life was on fire, bro. I was literally broke. The whole team left. I was the only one that stayed. Even the people that were like basically running the company, like the top of the top salespeople, they all fucking left. They jumped ship. And for me, I think I get to this point where I'm like, bro, I can't quit. Like I made a commitment. I told myself I'm going to do this. I have to do it. And then when I started dancing, because I had to make money, bro, like I had no money. And I was like a fitness instructor and I had like these little like odd jobs or whatever. But I was like, bro, where can I go where I can make some money today? Like I need some money. And that's kind of where it stemmed from when I first started dancing. And when I started making money in dancing and actually seeing some funds come in, mind you, I was still working in the sales company. Like I was still trying to grow it. But I think after like 6 months, even though I had been in the company for like 3-4 years, and after like 6 months of dancing and reflecting on it, I was like, why am I in this company? Is it because I just want to be at this company forever? Do I want to run this company? Do I want to own this company? Do I just want to get to this level that I said I would? And I told myself, I'm like, what are all the things that I want in life? What are all the big goals and the big dreams and the things that I promised myself when I was younger or even right now that I want to get to? I'm like, is this going to get me there? At this point, it's not. I've done everything that I can do to get to this level and it is not going anywhere. I said, I don't know what's next. I know what I'm doing right now. I know I'm dancing. This was before I even started doing Airbnb or anything or short-term rentals, real estate. I was like, I'm gonna end it. Like, there are a million different vehicles to get to where you want to get to. If you have a goal of like one day opening up your own coffee shop, let's just say that, right? You may not have the funds, the resources, the knowledge, the connections to go and do that right now. But what can you do right now to get you closer? Go get a fucking job, right? Like, get a job at a coffee shop, start learning the ropes, start meeting people within the industry, whatever you can do in that moment. And for me, I'm like, I know what I want, and I know the businesses that I want to create and the people that I want to impact in the community that I want to serve. This right now is not getting me any closer to it. The vision hasn't changed, just the vehicle has. As of right now, what's working for me is being a fucking stripper. And that's what I'm going to ride with until I find something else. And then what did I do? I came across short-term rentals, real estate, Airbnbs, and I rode with that, and I've been riding with that. But I'm also getting to a point where I'm like, okay, how can I continue to build my business? I don't want to get rid of my business, but build my business, automate my business, and then start doing all the other things I want to do. Because I don't only want to do real estate. I have so many things that I'm interested in, so many different topics where if you were to hear it, you'd be like, the fuck? That has nothing to do with real estate. Because real estate isn't necessarily my passion. That isn't, like, I don't want to be known for real estate. Everybody has told me, like, bro, go create a course, go be a guru, go be a real estate coach. No, like, that is one thing I know for sure. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not interested in that shit. I don't want to do it. I'm not anybody's guru, nobody's teacher, nobody's coach. And that's just me, because I know what I want, and I'm just in the vehicle right now that's going to get me there. So this talks about the idea of giving up. And I brought all of that around to basically read you these 2 fucking pages about the idea of giving up. And like I said, some people have golden toilet syndrome, where they just jump from thing to thing to thing that they think is going to make them more money, more success, more fame, more whatever it is that they're after. However, if you're in a position where you feel like you've done everything that you can, or potentially your vision just changes, I don't want people to feel bad about letting it go. Because if you know you, and you know what you want, and you know what you desire and what's going to get you closer to that end goal or whatever that idea of success is to you, all that matters is you and what you decide. And if you commit to it, you fucking commit to it and you go hard. So let's talk about it. Okay. This is what Beyond Order, Jordan Peterson, what he talks about. Here we go. Aim at something, pick the best target you can currently conceptualize, stumble toward it, notice your errors and misconceptions along the way, face them and correct them. Get your story straight, past, present, future, they all matter. You need to map your path. You need to know where you were so that you do not repeat the mistakes of the past. You need to know where you are, or you will not be able to draw a line from your starting point to your destination. You need to know where you're going, or you will drown in uncertainty, unpredictability, and chaos, and starve for hope and inspiration. For better or worse, you are on a journey. You are having an adventure, and your map better be accurate. Voluntarily confront what stands in your way. The way that is the path of life, the meaningful path of life, the straight and narrow path that constitutes the very border between order and chaos, and the traversing of which brings them into balance. Aim at something profound and noble and lofty. If you can find a better path along the way, once you have started moving forward, then switch course. Be careful though, it is not easy to discriminate between changing paths and simply giving up. One hint, if the new path you see forward after learning what you needed to learn along your current way appears more challenging, then you can be reasonably sure that you are not deluding or betraying yourself when you change your mind. In this manner, you will zigzag forward. It is not the most efficient way to travel, but there is no real alternative given that your goals will inevitably change while you pursue them, as you learn what you need to learn while you are disciplining yourself. You will then find yourself turning across time, incrementally and gracefully, to aim ever more accurately at that tiny pinpoint, the X that marks the spot, the bullseye in the center of the cross, to aim at the highest value of which you can conceive. You will pursue a target that is both moving and receding. Moving because you do not have the wisdom to aim in the proper direction that you first take aim. Receding because no matter how close you come to perfecting what you are currently practicing, new vistas of possible perfection will open up in front of you. Discipline and transformation will nonetheless lead you forward. With will and luck, you will find a story that is meaningful and productive, improves itself with time, and perhaps even provides you with more than a few moments of satisfaction and joy. With will and luck, you will be the hero of that story, the disciplined sojourner, the creative transformer, and the benefactor of your family and broader society. Imagine who you could be and then aim single-mindedly at that. And with that, I will leave you because boys are cool, kids are all right, but at the end of the day, the number one investment that you can make in your life is always going to be in yourself. Always betting on yourself, always doing everything that you can to make yourself better, to grow, no matter where you are, no matter where you've been, no matter where you think you're going. At the end of the day, courses can always change. Life is inevitable. Chaos happens. It comes into our life. It's just part of it. So if you guys find yourself in that position, pick up a book, find some wisdom, pray, whatever it is you need to do, because at the end of the day, this too shall pass. So I hope you guys got some value, and we'll see you on the next one.